Hello, my name is Rose Stanley and I'm a practice leader here at WorldatWork. In a previous video, I spoke to you about the organizational benefits of teleworking. Today, I'd like to talk to you about how you can make telework a success in your organization. First, let's discuss some of management's top concerns. And by management in this segment, I'm speaking specifically about the immediate supervisors of those that will be teleworking. Surveys show that management is concerned that there will be greater communication difficulties, and that these difficulties will be between the teleworker and immediate manager, their co-workers, between departments, and also between potentially the customers if the teleworker is working with them. Management also has reservations about managing and monitoring the performance of these off-site workers. Now, both of these are legitimate concerns, but both are easily manageable with the proper strategies and tools. Communication may seem more difficult with teleworkers, but it doesn't really have to be. Always keep in mind that you want to create as much seamless communication as possible. So much so, in fact, that those individuals that would not normally see the teleworker on any given day would not even necessarily know that the teleworker was working off-site. Some things that you will want to tell your teleworker for better communication would be to forward their phone to either their home phone or their cell number. This creates seamless connectivity. But keep in mind and let the teleworker know that if they forward it to their home phone, there might be a voicemail message that might not be appropriate for business use, and they may want to change it. If that's not going to be a viable solution, set up with the teleworker that they can check in with their office voicemail periodically throughout the day in order to stay connected. A note on the cubicle or office stating the date and where the employee is and how to connect with them is helpful. Sometimes an electronic calendar that everyone within a given department has access to can show who is teleworking on which days and how best to get in touch with them. It makes it a lot easier for someone to be able to access that electronically. Of course, there's always instant messaging, and if you have that available, it's a very easy way for you to be able to communicate with someone regardless where they're at. And also it allows you to put a status update of where they're at and if they're going to be teleworking that day. It's very important that all parties involved communicate with one another a lot, both from the top down and the bottom up. And remember, laterally as well. And it's okay to modify where needed. The second area that is really difficult for managers to grasp is how to manage the teleworker's performance. It's not surprising that we've heard many managers ask, how do I know that they're working when I can't see them? FaceTime is a standard way that managers have always relied on to prove to them that their workers are actually working, when in fact it's the performance or productivity of those workers is what is really telling the manager and the organization that the work is being completed. So working with these teleworkers to establish goals and performance measures is what's going to ensure both parties that work is being achieved. After all, managers would and should be doing this anyway, regardless of where the worker resides. Make sure that you set up meetings on a regular basis so you can substantiate the progress on both projects and tasks. Stress to the teleworker to keep their eye toward the results. That's what the organization ultimately wants anyway. It's also suggested that the manager have their own performance goals related to managing the teleworker. Not enough can be said about mutual trust and respect in this type of work environment. It can set the tone. And with this, you can increase productivity, increase loyalty and engagement of your workers. Another way to help telework succeed in your organization is to find champions within the organization that can help spread the word that this type of work system is viable and can work within the organization. This champion might have a high-level position in the organization, or it might be someone that was once a non-believer and now sees the success of this type of arrangement. Cultural acceptance will be the biggest challenge in terms of making telework a success in your organization. This is a whole new way of working, and from all indications, our surveys are telling us that it is going to stay and it's going to continue to grow quite substantially, especially within the next 10 to 15 years. It's really important to address cultural issues now through correct messaging, perhaps from top management down. Emulate the desired behavior yourself. Telework one day a month so that you can see what it feels like and you can know what type of behavior you're expecting from your own teleworkers. Make sure your whole department knows how much it's working and how well it's working within your own area. You need to make sure that there is training done for everyone. You need to make sure that you're training your teleworkers so that they understand what their role is and especially how their work setting will work with coworkers and supervisors and customers if they have them. Make sure that you train the coworkers as well so that they understand how to communicate and work effectively with the teleworker. Managers and supervisors need to be trained as well on their role in order to be effective as remote supervisors. Their acceptance and support of this program is either what's going to make or break the program, and they need special training just for this reason. The entire organization also needs to learn how to work with teleworkers. So if there's not going to be specific training for them, make sure that information goes out company-wide. And lastly, but not least, pilot the program first on a smaller scale to see how it works and how it's being accepted. That's the time that you get to work out the bugs and then move forward implementing it organization-wide. I hope that you've learned a few more important aspects of making telework successful in your organization. Thank you so much for joining me today.